friends, all of you. I hope everyone's doing okay. I just want to say my voice is a bit croaky at the moment. I don't know if I've got a bit of a cold, but yesterday my throat has been very sore, so hence why I haven't been able to do a cover. I have just tried to film a cover, but my voice isn't going the best, so that's why I'm doing another video which isn't a cover. So I've got some questions that I asked people on my Instagram, and they sent me some questions over for this mental health Q&A that I'm going to be doing for you guys today. God, I sound so nasally. My cat's trying to get in, but my door's closed. God, I sound so weird. It sounds like I'm talking through my nose. Okay, so let's get on with the video. The first question is, best way to keep busy or distracted? So I've already done a video on this, but for me, I normally use my distraction box. I go for a walk, I listen to music, I do a YouTube video, literally anything that works for you basically. Because like everyone will prefer doing different things, as I always say. And yeah, but for me personally, I like going for walks, I like listening to music, I use my distraction box, and making videos for you guys is a really good distraction for me. The next question is, when did you know you had mental health problems and it wasn't just regular teen issues? I think it was when I was in year 10 and 11 when I started self-harming at school. Like, that's not normal behaviour, and looking back now, I think that's when I first realised that things weren't okay. Or also, I think when I was in my first year at college, when I first got referred to CAMS after an incident, I think that's when I started to realise that, shit, like, I'm not okay, like, I don't know what's up with me, but there must be something up with me because this is quite serious now, because I've now attempted to do something and I shouldn't be doing these behaviours because it's not healthy for like a 16-year-old to do that. The next question is, what coping strategies do you use? My coping strategies are just trying to keep myself distracted as much as possible. Doing mindfulness is a big one. Making sure that I'm talking to someone. Because I think when like, you bottle things up, it makes you 10 times worse because you're just going to build up on it. And the problems are just going to get bigger and bigger. And that's when things are going to escalate. And that's when you're going to get worse. So I try and talk to people as much as I can. What's the hardest thing with living with anxiety and depression? I think because like you never know what mood you're going to be in. So every time you wake up, you never know what you're going to be like, if you're going to be anxious about the most easiest thing or if you're going to be okay. So I think not knowing what mood you're going to be in and if you're going to be anxious or not, like, because with anxiety, you never know when you're going to be anxious because like you could be anxious about anything and even the smallest things can get to you. But on some days, like those small things might not get to you, but on other days they will get to you. So it's like not knowing what mood you're going to be in and what you're going to be like that day. The next question is, what's the hardest part of recovery? I think the hardest part of recovery for me is admitting that I've got a problem and actually opening up to someone, because I do form attachments to certain people very easily and very quickly, and I think because I know I have attachment problems, it makes it hard for me to open up to someone because I get scared that I'm going to get left behind or they're going to reject me. So opening up to people is a big one for me, and admitting that I've actually got a problem, because I'm always in such denial with my mental illnesses. Like, I always say I'm fine, even though so many people around me know that I'm not fine. But yeah, I think admitting that I've got a problem is a big one for me. The next one is, does your eating disorder still affect you? If I'm honest, no, it doesn't actually. Like, obviously I've still got my good and bad days. Like, I still struggle with like my body image and stuff. That's something which I do struggle with. But my eating, I'm not so bad. Like, obviously we all get our good days and we all get our bad days. It's like, that's normal. That's just normal because we're all only human at the end of the day. Like, I do have the moments where I'm like, oh my god, I need to lose weight, I need to restrict, but the thing is, like, losing weight, like, it didn't get me anywhere. Like, with anorexia, like, there's no end goal because anorexia just wants you to lose more and more. But my eating's still fine. I think, since putting on weight and being on medication, I think it's made me realise that I've got to try and change my lifestyle. So I've started exercising more, I've started eating a bit more healthier, and I think that's helped me cope with like the weight gain because I'm doing my bit as well, if that makes sense. But my eating is absolutely fine now, but obviously I still get days where I want to restrict and I feel fat and I feel horrible, but I think that's just normal. Best and worst medications. Okay, so probably for me personally, I think the worst medication that I've been on is quetiapine. Like, I was only on it for like a month, I think, and like, it was horrible. It made me feel so drowsy, like, and I couldn't function when I was on it, like, and because I drive, I couldn't cope with it. So quetiapine has got to be the worst medication that I've been on. The best medication that I've been on would probably be mirtazapine, because when I first started mirtazapine, it increased my appetite, and obviously when I first got put on mirtazapine, I was very underweight with like my eating disorder, and so that helped me gain my appetite back, and it also helped with my sleep. I think eating and sleeping is such an important thing because we all need it to function. What medications are you on? Okay, the medications that I'm currently on now are, I'm on mirtazapine, I'm on aripiprazole, and I am on fluoxetine. I know some people might think, why am I on 2 different antidepressants? But like, I think it's because like they work for me, and I have tried coming off the mirtazapine, but it didn't end well because I ended up in hospital like 3 times in the space of 4 days because the medication withdrawal symptoms were just awful. So that's how I know that the mirtazapine definitely works for me like wonders. How do you deal with the stigma surrounding certain mental health conditions? Like, I try and not think about like the stigma towards mental health, because at the end of the day, you wouldn't stigmatise physical illness. But I just feel like people need to take mental health seriously because it is a mental illness, and just because you can't see it, it doesn't mean it's not there. But I think because I know it's real for me, I don't really care what other people think, because I'm not going to appointments just for the fun of it. Like, I'm not under the mental health teams because I want to be. Like, I've got a natural illness. Like, if someone had like a physical illness, they wouldn't be as worried what people would think about it, because obviously they can't help it. So why would you blame someone for having like a mental illness? So, because it's not their fault at the end of the day. How old were you when you first became unwell? Okay, I think this was when I was back in my first year at college. So that was when I first got referred to CAMS. So I was at the age of 16. Like, I had an incident and I got referred to CAMS, and I think that's when I first started realising that I was unwell. Obviously I was struggling for like quite a few years before that, but I think the first proper alarm bells were when I first started college, so I was 16. Opinion on the recovery community. I'm in the mental health community on Instagram, and I've been in it for like over a year now, and I've met some amazing people. Like, I have to admit, the community can be quite toxic at times, because when we're all talking about our problems, it can bring one another down. But at the same time, like, we can all relate to each other, and most of the time we're all there for each other, and we just want the best for each other. And I have made some amazing friends, and I honestly would be so lost if I didn't have those people around me. Do you feel full recovery is possible? Honestly, I don't think so. Because we're all going to have like our good and bad days in life, and if you expect to have a full recovery and then you have a bad day, you're just going to disappoint yourself, because you would have got your hopes up for getting like a full recovery, but then when you have like a bad day, like, you're just going to disappoint yourself because you would have got your hopes up. And I think that a full recovery, like, it could be possible for some people, but it depends what illnesses you have, because as I've got EUPD, emotionally unstable personality disorder, I'm always so up and down, so I'm going to have good days and I'm going to have bad days, and it's just going to be like this for the rest of my life, I think. Like, there's no cure for mental illness. So it's not like sticking a plaster over a wound and it will heal like after like a week or so. So I don't think you should have your expectations so high on a full recovery, because you're always going to have bad days, because that's just life. Which one was more helpful for you? CAMS or adults? Okay, I was only with CAMS for a little while, and then I discharged myself because I felt like they weren't helping me. So I'll probably say adults have been more helpful for me, even though I feel like they haven't really done much for me at the moment. But hopefully now I'm back with the community mental health team, hopefully they will help me more. Like, I do think adults will probably help me more, because obviously like they know about my problems more now and they've been identified now that I'm older, if that makes sense. My opinion on Eugenia Cooney. I don't really like doing this. I don't like doing opinions on people because I don't want to seem like a proper bitch or a nasty person. But I just think that she seems like a lovely girl and she's just struggling so much and she just deserves the help. And I think, I don't know, when you're so stuck in an eating disorder, you literally just, you're so consumed in it that you just don't think about what you're doing and what everyone's saying about you. And I think like people should just leave her alone just to get on with her recovery, and hopefully that's what she's going to be doing. But she does seem like a lovely girl, but she's just struggling ever so much, and it is horrible to see. And sometimes I don't think it's right for her to post on social media, like on YouTube and stuff, like outfits of the day, because I think like people are just going to feed into her illness and it's just not healthy for her or anyone else. But yeah, let's just hope she gets the help because she deserves it. When did you start medication? Okay, so I first got prescribed with like propranolol, and that was back in 2016 or 2017, I can't remember now, but I never really took it. So that was the first time I actually got prescribed with medication, but I never took it. But the first time I started taking medication was last year, so 2018, and that was when I started fluoxetine and quetiapine, and then it got changed to fluoxetine and mirtazapine. So yeah, that's when I first started medication, guys, because I never used to be able to take tablets because I always had a fear of choking on them, which is so weird, but now I literally swallow pills like there's no tomorrow. How are you feeling about starting DBT? If I'm being honest, I'm not too worried about starting DBT because I just want something to like, I just need some coping mechanisms and coping strategies for with like my emotions and how to deal with like certain things, because I'm not very good with like dealing with like some situations, and I literally fall apart at like the smallest thing because I hate change and I have really bad attachments to people. So I just become very dependent on people, and I'm hoping DBT will make me more independent and it will help me cope with my emotions a bit better. Are your parents supportive? Yes, my parents are supportive. I think they don't know what to say at times because obviously they don't know what mood I'm going to be in, and they don't know what to say to me sometimes because obviously they don't want to say the wrong thing. But I always brush it under the carpet. Like, when they ask me what's up with me, I just say that I'm fine and it's nothing, even though there obviously is something wrong with me. But yeah, they are supportive. Do you know what caused your eating disorder? If I'm being honest, no. I never have actually got to the root of what caused like my eating disorder. I think it's just the fact of like being in control and everything around me was just going downhill, and obviously I couldn't control anything around me, so I thought like I had to control this, and that was my way of controlling my life basically, because I was controlling what I eat and the exercise I was doing and everything like that. So I think it was just like being in control basically. And I also think that like my old best friend, like she has such an amazing figure, and I used to get so jealous of her because every time we went to the gym together, all the lads would just look at her and I would just look at myself, and I think that's when I was thinking, oh my god, like I need to lose weight. Like I've always had in my mind that I need to lose weight. Like I've always been scared to reach like a certain weight. But I just, yeah, it just got so overwhelming when I started getting really bad at my eating disorder, because it all happened so quickly. What do people misunderstand about you? I think people are a bit scared of me because they don't know how to approach me, because I never know what mood I'm going to be in or what I'm going to be like. But just because I've got a mental illness, it doesn't mean I'm a nasty person. Yeah, so I just feel like with like certain mental illnesses, like people are scared of me because like they don't know, they think because if I hurt myself, I think they're scared that I'm going to hurt them as well, but that's not the case. Like I would never hurt anyone. Like that's just not me. Like, and having mental illnesses doesn't make you a bad person. Like, in fact, like you're more vulnerable to yourself than other people. And like when you have like EUPD, like I think people get a bit worried because obviously attachments fall into that, and I think people might stay away from you because they don't know if you're going to get attached to them and they don't want you to feel dependent on them. But honestly, like just because like you have like an attachment issue doesn't make you a bad person, because sometimes having an attachment brings out the best relationships, if that makes sense. And yeah, just because like we get attached doesn't mean that we're gonna hurt you or we're gonna do the wrong thing to you. Like to be fair, like we do. Well, me personally, when I have an attachment to someone, I do go a bit OTT with them. So if it's their like birthday or if it's their like Christmas or whatever, I do go over the top with like presents and stuff. But it's only in a nice way, like, so it's nothing bad. Like I'm not like a stalker. Like I wouldn't do that. That's not me. And anyway, guys, that is all my questions for you guys today. So thank you to everyone who sent me questions on my Instagram, and I hope you found this video somewhat helpful. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you all on my next video.